The Beacon Gospel Choir was formed in 2005 in Painswick, Gloucestershire, by local residents Penny Lyon and Kevin Washburn. Feeling discouraged by the lack of life in traditional hymns, the group took it upon themselves to form their very own choir to inject some life into the community.
We put a small ad into our local church newsletter, said think Whoopi Goldberg, think purple cassocks, and you've kind of got the right idea. And we had 25 people turned up the first time. The choir has grown and shrunk the way these things do as they develop, and there are now about 40 of us.
As the Beacon Gospel Choir began to flourish, the founding members began writing original material, subsequently birthing the band out of the ashes. Performances for both acts have become more frequent following the dedication and commitment from those involved.
Without a shadow of a doubt, my fondest memory of live event, it actually happens fairly repeatedly. It's where we get the audience taking part too. When we see the audience out of their seats, clapping, dancing along and singing as well, then we know we're having a great time. The first time I sung in public, other than on school nativity plays and things of that sort, I certainly never did a solo on a nativity play. I wasn't deemed to be good enough. I remember I joined a sort of a village band, and I remember the first song I sang, and I actually physically remember my kneecaps were going up and down very, very fast as I was trying to keep calm and not panic and not run from the stage.
Penny has encouraged other locals to join the choir, developing both their vocal ability and confidence.
I've had quite a few people who joined the choir having claimed that they couldn't sing, but actually yes they could. But there was one who really had been damaged through her childhood. She'd been taught that she couldn't sing when she was a small girl. She'd been taught that she couldn't sing when she was a young woman, and then she'd been taught that she couldn't sing when she was an adult. So she really 100% believed it now. Another friend suggested that she ought to come and give it a go and spend some time with me at the piano learning to sing. And that's what she did every Tuesday afternoon. She would come along, we'd sit by the piano, plonking away at the notes, teaching her to hear what she was singing, teaching her to hear what the piano was doing, and to learn to hit those notes. She is now a very useful member of our lower harmony section. Perhaps the most interesting thing is the difference it's made to her, the increase in her confidence, and the general enjoyment that she really gets out of it.
When I was a child, I was told that I was tone deaf, and it put me off singing for years. And when I got to secondary school, the music teacher used to walk around listening to you sing, and he said to me once, "Can you mime?" I thought, there really is no hope for me.
When I first met Penny, I had no idea that she and Kevin were so musical. And we got chatting over a glass or two of wine, and I said to her, "Gosh, I'd love to be able to do that, but I can't sing." And she looked me straight in the eye and she said, "You can. You just need to learn how to do it."
I've sat in school nativity plays where I can hear one child or two children singing very loudly on one note, where all their friends are singing hopefully in tune correctly. What's really interesting is when I come to actually work with those children, I discover that they can all sing, but the trouble that they have, particularly at junior school age, is that they're growing extremely fast and their vocal cords tend to get very stretched as a result, and therefore very weak. And you get baby giraffe syndrome, which we see in children learning to run and learning to do all sorts of things. You get it in terms of their vocal cords. So they start becoming very monotonal. If you actually work with those children on that and help them develop their ear and develop their muscles, they too can learn to sing. Certainly from the time that I see in schools, I think we're gradually learning that we should be encouraging children, not telling them what they can and can't do. And what I really do try and encourage everybody I know to not say, "Yeah, my child can't sing." I've heard it so many times. And most parents do it in an affectionate kind of way and that they mean no harm, but it is really damaging and you shouldn't do it. Your child can sing, they just might not have learnt yet.
I think the choir generally has for me as a person has made me grow in confidence, even just not during concerts, just in general outside of the choir. I'm able to speak to people a lot better. I don't get nervous in certain situations, and I think it's just really helped me as a person.
I'd say that your child can sing, he just hasn't learnt yet. And the thing to do is to encourage him to learn and to help him to learn, just as you help him to learn to read, to write, and to do all the other things he has to learn to do in life. Except this one will bring him a lot of pleasure and a lot of confidence.
Penny spends time working with the members of the choir in the recording studio. She believes that allowing singers to listen back to themselves helps them to develop their vocal abilities more efficiently. The choir only practice once a month, but are expected to practice privately on a regular basis.
I practice songs for the choir probably more often if we've got a concert coming up, once I've had the song list through. And because I don't generally have time to practice very regularly, and I'm quite confident that I know the songs. If we get a new song, I'll go over and over and over again, so I do make sure that it's drummed into me.
The one thing that really strikes me is that I, as a woman, would never dream of putting makeup on without using a mirror. So how can we expect to learn to sing without hearing ourselves sing?
I feel that singing in the studio and listening back to it has really helped my voice, because you can hear the faults in what you're doing, and you can change it, and you can get help, and you can sing it, and then you can look back at it, look at your mistakes, and then work on it. Instead, as a live performance, you're singing once and that's your song. Whereas when you're recording, you can look back at it, you can work on things which you're not as strong on, but you can look at your strong points as well. So I feel that it really has helped me.
In its simplest form, singing is a gift because it's something that we can all do, whether we believe it or not. And it's something that gives us all both healing and pleasure, or pleasure and healing. It's terribly important to us to be able to sing. I think right the way from our roots and history, it's been something we use in worship, it's something we use in our relationship with our children, singing them to sleep. And it's also, isn't it meant to be the language of love?
I think singing is a gift for me from God. I can't ever remember not singing and not having it as part of my life, and I'm very lucky to have a voice that people are happy to listen to.
Just as with running, you might not end up being a Kenyan runner or an Olympic athlete, but you will certainly be able to go jogging or take part in sport. In the same way with singing, you might not end up being Barbara Streisand, but you'll certainly be able to sing well enough to take part in a choir, join your local amateur dramatic group, or just generally have fun with singing.
I think that everyone can sing, given the chance, given the support, and given a safe environment. Everybody has got a voice.
Several months later, I found myself standing on a stage singing. I'm a doctor, I trained to do medicine, and I remember almost pinching myself thinking, I cannot believe this is me. It's been a fantastic experience. I've loved singing with them, both briefly in the gospel choir and in another band. And I owe Penny that. I would never have believed I could do it. She made me believe in it.
The Beacon Gospel Choir promote the idea that everyone can sing. For those willing to put in the effort, there is the hope that their voice can be heard as a collective expression of music.